Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're checking out another video of mine, I want to take a quick moment to thank all the support that I've got so far, thus far, in this small little bit of time. I want to thank my Ex-JW community. I want to give everybody who's in the Ex-JW community a big shout out because you guys have given me a place to go where I can just, be a part of. I can be who I am, how I am, and how I've always been. And hopefully I can encourage others who are in the Jehovah's Witness organization who cannot be who they are truly, you know, and they're having real issues with that. It's really sad that I think about it. And but before I go any further, let me introduce myself. I'm Roberto. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and I'm using my platform through my channel, through my videos, through my voice to connect to others who feel like they need someone to identify with their situation, with their thoughts. You know, listen, you know, I'm not speaking for anyone or everyone, but for me, it wasn't really that easy to say, hey, today's the day that I've set aside to not be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. It's it's something that you go through, it's like a transitioning period that you go through. If you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're looking at this video and you're hearing me, I'm 95% certain you might identify personally with what I'm saying, or you know someone that could have given you info or someone that you heard of that um went through or is going through what I'm about to say. There's a term that is used and I've used in the very beginning before I was an official XJW. That term is you're fading. And so if you're not a Jehovah's Witness and you're looking at this, you don't know what that is. For Jehovah's Witnesses who are, think of it this way. Think of someone who's backsliding in faith. You can see it that way. That's the best way I could kind of put it. It's a Jehovah's Witness who is starting to fall, fall or not fall, but starting to really fade away, that's why we came up, why it came, that whole fading term came from. And Jehovah's Witnesses, myself included at the time in my JW days, I started fading from that religion. It wasn't, oh, I'm a Jehovah's Witness this day, and then, oh, tomorrow I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, and hey, I'm an XJW, and that's just how, no, it doesn't work that way. You start to fade in the beginning. Why you fade and how you fade is what I want to talk about. How does a Jehovah's Witness fade and fade till they fade all the way off to the point where they're out of that religion? This is what I want to talk about. Okay. you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses and you watching this video, please pay attention. I'm gonna, deliver what I'm gonna say to you at a slow pace because it's something that I want to elaborate as I'm talking about it, um, which makes sense. And if you're one of my fellow brothers or sisters in the Ex-Jehovah community, please, I really please ask that you support me by giving what I'm saying here and this information here before you spread that, please. I think it's something important. So sorry, excuse me. I've been having something in my throat and I'm not gonna stop the video again because I've done that. Uh, I came up with five. Well, first of all, I believe that there's signs that you're unconscious about when you're starting to fade off as one of Jehovah's Witness to where a person like myself is at as an Ex-Jehovah. And in that process, there's signs, okay? And right now, if you're JW, there might be signs, okay, that you're possible, the signs that you're becoming, that you may be becoming an Ex-Jehovah. And you may ask yourself, well, how and what are the signs? I personally came up with five signs that is telling you, that's showing you, okay, that you are heading your way to the opposite direction from a one-time Jehovah's Witness to an ex-Jehovah Witness. All right, so here you go. Ready? Yeah, plenty of time. I was talking crazy slow. The first sign that you'll notice if you're going, like regular, you're doing everything how you have been. If you've been a Jehovah's Witness for a short period of time, for a long time, but you have lost your smile, that is sign number one. And let me tell you something. Unless it has changed, and I doubt, Jehovah's Witnesses, from what I know of now, for what I know of when I was one at one time, Jehovah's Witnesses is people that I've have to I must say and acknowledge they're really known for smiling. You are smiling because you're reflecting Jehovah, one, and then in turn you're reflecting God, and you're taught and you learn that God is a happy God. And because you're taught and you learn that God is a happy God, you must therefore reflect that when you go out to preach in your ministry, when you're amongst each other. So you're always smiling, right? That's the first sign. The first sign is when you know you're not smiling, or if you notice that you're not smiling how you used to, if you notice that you're smiling less, if you notice that it's not as easy to put on or have that smile like how you once had, that's the first sign. The second sign, which is it goes right along with that, would be what's that? Joyous or enthusiastic, exciting feeling that is in you or was in you. You're starting to notice it's not It's not there. It's missing, or it's not the same. Okay, that's sign number two, that you notice that you don't have these feelings of excitement, of enthusiasm, or joy. You feel being in your congregation, being around your brothers and sisters. Once you notice that those feelings is not there, they're not in your heart. That's sign number two. Let's move on to the next one. Excuse me. When you go to your meetings faithfully, every week, twice a week, 5 times a week. I believe that's 5 meetings last time I checked. When you go to all your conventions, nothing new to you. And you start to notice you space out. You start to notice you zone out. You try to stop it, you try to ignore it. You're still spacing out. You're still zoning out. You have no type of focus on anything that around us was going on. It's like you're not there. And you notice that this does not happen just once. It's a repeated thing. It's like a habit. It's like every time you go into the meetings, oh, you show up, your body shows up. This don't show up. That is sign number three. Listen to what I'm saying. All I'm asking for you to do is listen to what I'm saying. Okay? Really, seriously. This is important. Moving on next to sign number four. Okay? Which is this is where you start to know like you starting to really, by this time you're really starting to see like, wow, when you start to go I'm so sorry, excuse me. Do you hate that when you get like something in your throat and you're trying to say something important? I'm trying to speak to people. I'm trying to speak to you, and excuse me. I refuse to stop and start over. I've did this like 3 times, and I don't want to. Sign number four is when you start going to your meetings out of obligation. When you start to feel that you have to go to your meetings, like I must, and you know why? Because you feel like, oh, I don't want nobody to talk about me and say, I start no gossip. Hey, you missed one meeting. Hey, you missed 2 meetings. Hey, I didn't see you last week. Hey, what's going on with brother or sister so-so? So, four is when you start to go to meetings and you just going just to make attendance. That's really it. You just going because, you're fighting. You're fighting. You're pulling yourself. You're fighting to make these meetings, and you're just pulling yourself. Fighting yourself to make these meetings. Let me tell you something. I can't speak for you, can't speak for nobody else who is currently one of Jehovah's Witnesses or was one at a time. But before I was a Jehovah's Witness, while I was while I was a Jehovah's Witness, actively, and while I was in that lifestyle, religious lifestyle, even to now, there was one thing about Roberto. There was one thing about I don't give a fuck. Yes, I said it. I don't give a fuck about what other people think. I don't give a fuck about what other people want to say. And I'm going to tell you why I don't give a fuck and never will give a fuck. All right? Because I don't live for other people. I don't live for other people. I never did live for other people. And I'm not going to start to. And if I must keep it real and be real about myself and say one thing, one of the things that I did wrong in regards to having that mindset that you're supposed to have as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, that would be it. That I never gave a fuck about what other people said or thought about me. I didn't give a fuck if you was, my family, you one of my brothers says, I didn't give a fuck. I don't care. Because let me tell you, I pay my own bills, take care of my own household, take care of my own family. I'm responsible for myself. I've been doing this for a while, way before I knew anything about this religion. So why am I going to grow a conscience to the point where I'm now so concerned, my heart and mind is so concerned about what people's going to say? This is my thing to you. If you're like me and you don't give a fuck about what anybody say, more power to you. Don't start doing that now. Don't stop. Don't let a religion mess your head up. But now you don't only grow a conscience, but you grow such a big conscience, like you worried about everything. So 5, sign number 5 that you are, or you may, I should say, you may be becoming an XJW. And this I say for last because I think this is the very top. And it speaks for itself. Simple. When you are in no way motivated to go out in the ministry. That's right. You guessed right. You've guessed right. You said it right. If you finish my sentence, you said it right. If you're not motivated out in the ministry, you're not motivated out to preach. If you're not motivated out to go to the ministry and preach, you're not motivated to to be around. You can't stick around that religion without hours. You have to love and breathe for the ministry. You can't do that. Jehovah's Witnesses is not a stupid. It's not a stupid people. They're not stupid. I wasn't stupid. I'm not stupid before or during or after. Let me tell you, Jehovah's Witnesses, you got a lot of smart and people there, educated and all that. I mean, granted, in my strong opinion, you're not that smart if you still want a Jehovah's Witness because you're still blinded to everything with the sexual abuse that's going around, which leads me to why I'm here. I haven't really heard no one probably address it how I'm addressing it, but I just thought it was important for me to really get it out there. So once again, This is 5 signs that I have went over. Okay, that is probably letting you know that you're gonna be gone. More than likely, you're gonna leave. And that's is because if you're not smiling, if you're not enthusiastic and feeling excited about what you're doing and where you at, if your mind and your heart, if both of these things is gone in those meetings, you're in the wrong place. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself for nobody else. Do you be real? Because let me tell you something. If you cannot be real to you, to who you are, you got to reevaluate who you are and what you're about. If you think right now you being, because you're devoted and you're loyal to a religion, that that's who you are within here, you're fooling yourself. If you're fighting to make meetings, that's telling you something. That's telling you something. It's very well telling you something. And I gotta leave off with this. The most greatest thing that I appreciate is my freedom, my free will in life. You do not really know. And the freedom to feel and think on how you want to feel and think, that's a blessing within itself. You don't know, that's God given. That's a God given blessing within itself. And you got to ask yourself, you're in a religion, you're part of something that I understand you feel, you have this personal obligation to Jehovah. You dedicated your life for that, but just reevaluate your situation, you know, because if, your spirit is telling you you feel religiously tied down, you gotta tackle that. You don't have no freedom. When you don't have no freedom, what do you think is going on inside of you? Don't put this religion up on a pedestal. Don't treat the Watchtower organization and the religion that is moving on its fingers. Don't treat it like it has to dictate your every move. Because at the end of the day, know who you have to answer and who you have to answer to. Say who you have to answer to. God or man. Man or God. Can't serve two masters. But is that religion serving as a master? Just saying. I think it's a good question. Good question. I don't know. So my friends, there you have it. Those are my 5 signs that I strongly believe that you may be becoming an ex-Jehovah. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. When your eyes is open, your mind is free, your heart is free, you're good. I think that the purpose about me coming out with this here now is because speaking from experience, I didn't know that these were the same things that I had experienced at one time. And you don't have nobody there you can speak to freely about these feelings without them looking at you differently. And if you can't do that and express yourself, how you feel, I put myself in your shoes because I was there at the time. I was there at the time. These things started coming little by little at a time. And you're not the only one. If you are JW right now, and these are the things you're starting to feel, you're not the only one by far. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. And my whole point, my whole purpose to talking about this and bringing it to light and bringing it before you is that, yeah, that's definitely real. That's telling you something. That's telling you have to start reevaluating a lot of things, you know, do a self-examination. And at the end of the day, you let God be the one that's going to help you make your ultimate decision, you know? And let me tell you this as well, like early on in, it's crazy. After I got baptized, and not, like I said, I can't speak for everybody, I'm just speaking for Roberto, my experience, I remember telling my wife, I said, this is going to be it. This is going to be our lives. From A to B to C, from A to B to C, from A to B to C, from A to B. You don't got really much going. Meeting to work to preaching. From meetings to work to preaching. From meeting, I was like, what? From preaching to work to meetings. No matter what order you put it, you're doing the same cycle over and over. Meetings, preaching, ministry, working for your family. So you're doing those four things. You work for your family, take care of your family, make your meetings, do your ministry, do your preaching. Like that's all you do. For years. For years. So that means I'm like, this is my career. This is it for me. I'm how old was I? I was like I'm young. I'm like 30 years old. 31. Like when I got baptized, I was, let me see, I was 7. I was about 33 years old. 33. So you figure I'm part of this at 33. When I put the rest of my life doing this, I said, nah. I was like, nah. I already had doubts on that. I said, I don't see myself doing what some have a career of 60, 50, 40, 30, 20 years of their life as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's it. I didn't see it. For me, I'm speaking for me, I didn't see it. If you could see 40, 30, 20 years or whatever years of your life, let Jehovah be with you, you know what I'm saying? That's your choice. That is your choice. Anyway, this is where I'm gonna wrap things up. I want to thank you. I really appreciate you taking time to stay here. What I gotta say, and just please take what I'm telling you for a reason. There's a real reason that you have to see these things for what they are and what they is. You know, don't feel like you trapped at another Jehovah's Witness meeting. Don't do it. Stop. Because I'm going to tell you this, you cannot serve Jehovah with half a heart. You got to be wholehearted. If you're in a meeting and you think Jehovah don't see that, Jehovah sees it. Your relationship, if you notice, your relationship is with God first. It's not with the religion first and then God. It's an order. If you need to do what you got to do it. Well, listen, thank you once again. I appreciate it. And until my next video, I just want to tell you, take care of yourself. Continue to live right, do what's right, stay positive, stay healthy, and know that at the end of the day, you know, religion's religion, you know, man-made religion. God did not lay out the plans for that. Okay, so make sure that you're not putting religion on a pedestal. Keep God in your life, do things right, keep him in heart, mind, and spirit. Until next time, this is Roberto. I really appreciate it. Peace.